Hello, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and generally on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, but not today. Today, we're here with engineer Brett Martin, who is working on the app that we're running. Well, I guess that we're developing in conjunction with the app developers and the engineers here, that is going to help you record your story and take it to any firm that you like. It doesn't have to be our firm. Brett, thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome. Great to see you again, Vince. I'm going to jump right into the fun stuff of the app and kind of give an update from where we left off before. I know we walked the viewers through wireframes and some of the rough versions of the application. And
Very
we're at
correct.
this kind of critical point where most of the work in the app is done. And we're going back and we're looking at bug fixes and other things. And I think it's important to look back at the app and understand how apps are built. What we're doing here is we're building what's called like an MVP, right? So minimum viable product, or I like the term MLP, minimum lovable product. So we want to release a product that your users, your clients, the people who watch this channel, that they're going to love, that's going to do the minimum possible stuff that they're going to love. And then as you get feedback, say, okay, you know what, let's add that feature. Let's expand the app in this way. Um, and then that way you're releasing as soon as possible, getting that feedback and getting this useful app into the hands of people as soon as possible. But it's in sort of that package that you think is going to be at least useful. So we're not kind of leaving some of the lights off and missing some of the core features here. So with that in mind, there is a whole bunch of things that we are at this about 3/4 of the way through the app process that need to be fixed and enhanced. So I want you to keep that in mind, and feel free to spot them. I'm going to be pointing out some of them as we go, but I'm going to give you a quick tour of the app, and I'll switch the view here, so you should be able to see the app and some of the situations and stuff we're going to be talking about here. But I have this live hooked up to the phone, so we should be
Oh,
able to see the live running application, which is fun. There's still
very
going to be a
impressive.
couple stock images, but again, for the most part, and the copy changes that we'll need to update here for the final version. But for the most part, the colors and the layout and things like that are kind of what we expected them to be. So here we have the onboarding screen. So you're only going to see this the first time you launch the application. And again, we can update or change any of this stuff. And we want to make sure that the users feel right away, hey, we're not going to do anything with your data, because that's absolutely the truth. And the data is going to stay on device unless you choose to send it to your lawyer. And any other setup we need to do, right? So saying, hey, we detected you have an iPhone 16 and so on. And it's giving me some instructions on how I could take a screenshot here with the phone. Again, we can get a little bit more advanced here through this onboarding stage. So this is sort of a default state that we call it. And when we get to the app, we want to welcome you. Hey, you're here. And we want to make sure that you know what to do now that you're starting with absolutely nothing in this application. So welcome, please tap, we got to change that copy, tap below. We're going to tap the plus button here. And you notice I tapped into the text field here. And this is one of the bugs that I've identified. I'm going to save the user some time. We're going to already pre-select that text field. Keyboard's going to come up automatically. Going to be pretty cool. So let's call this over here mean boss. This is my mean boss situation. I think my boss has it out for me. Um,
Hmm.
right. So that's the summary. Boss keeps giving me other people's work. I don't think that's fair. I don't know if I have a case yet. I just want to document it. I'm going to save it, see that we have it saved, and we'll see that now on the home screen. And it's a current situation. Tap into that situation. Don't have anything recorded yet. We're going to create a new event. And again, we'll pop this up here automatically for you as one of the enhancements. And we're going to go ahead and say, yesterday, My boss gave me Steve's work. I will call that Steve for short, which is an optional title. And it was yesterday. And if I want to add media, I can do that here, but we will save. And there's the timeline added. And actually, no, I remember Robert. And we will say maybe that happened last Thursday, and we'll save. And we will get a nice chronological timeline. We can go back in here.
Very
We can see when that occurred. We can go ahead and edit any of these details. You know what? I actually remembered that I had some media to add to here. It was definitely a picture of delicious soup that I had yesterday that is relevant to this topic. And all that will get updated, and we will save it. And right now the app seems pretty simple, but one of the significant efforts by the team in this area was taking this data and choosing to optionally send it up to the cloud, which is what we want to do. So if we go back here, you'll notice this little sort of email paper airplane arrow. We're going to tap that, and we can see kind of the summary view of my situation. And I want to actually share that with my lawyer. In this case, you, and I'm going to say my name is I think I probably named myself Brett a few times in this, so I'm going to go with Brett3 here and type in the secret code. And this is going to be a process that I think still needs a little bit more revision, but we're going to have people call into your law office or any other law offices that would like to be associated with this tool or application, and they're going to have a secret code, so we make sure it goes to the right spot and that it is authorized, so that way people aren't sending you whatever they want and using you as a cloud storage solution. So that's been authorized. This has been shared. So I'm all set there. And there we go. So that's cool, but what's happening on the other side? And I'm just going to pull in the browser window here. And we should be able to see, I'll give this a quick refresh. There we go. There's the mean boss in Brett3. And we see there's a naming convention, there's a time and date stamp, there's an event list, and there is all of the data that has been dumped from the app for that event, and the description and the everything else that we want to put in here. So again, this is a great area that we can customize, and it's one that I would need feedback from you and possibly other users of the application to say, how do you want this formatted? Do you want an index? Do you want the media inside here, et cetera? And we would be able to customize this now that we have the data, we have the systems in place. Team spent a lot of time getting Dropbox set up in a way that is both secure and allows the users to, as you saw, seamlessly enter that data in. So in this case, here's another test that we did with this description. And there's several test images that were successfully uploaded. And you can see they each have unique identifications so that there's not collisions, or if you had numerous files named the same thing, and then we'd be able to reference that in the event list so that you can say, okay, in this document, I'm specifically referring to item number 3, and item number 3 is, in this case, the Nemo looking fish over here. And in that way, you would have that index that might be very useful for referencing items later and or printing out this complete list, you can imagine. Or we might want to compile everything in a very linear fashion, include the photos inside this PDF document. So that's where I think is a great time for you to come in and give some feedback and or define that. I have some good ideas around that definition. We can talk a little bit more. I just wanted to give the viewers here a little idea of some of the things we're talking about. So going through each of these, I'll go through the whole application, and I'll look at things like if I were to create a new situation and rapidly press on the save button, we get multiple instances. So things like that. We want to
Oh,
make sure that our auth screen is secure. So there's always small bugs and hiccups and stuff that maybe weren't intended or weren't defined, right? Build the screen. We didn't define what should happen when you press save, or should say be disabled until the user does a specific activity. So those are the kinds of things that now that we have a working application, everything's wired up, we can now look for those fine-tuned effects. And this is the exciting part. I want to get this into your hands and or some other people at your office, on your team that you trust to run through this, and just use it as a personal notes app type, what you had for lunch today, something like that. So you have the daily use. So it feels very similar to a real world use case scenario. We'll identify any more bug fixes, and we'll verify, importantly, the data. When we print out that data, is everything that you had for lunch over the last week, maybe throw in some pictures there, is it exactly what you expected, or are you missing something from Tuesday, or after you enter 5 items, you run out of memory and something happens. So that is where we are in the application. So if you have any questions or want to know what we're up to next, I'd love to answer those.
well, so it looks like we're about to run a closed beta, if I understand correctly, and we'll be using people from within the firm to test the app. And you're able to enter the time entries, and they go in chronological order, which is amazing. There's also directions for adding screenshots, from your phone. So if you're screenshotting a text message or an email, we can do that. Um, there's also, is there the ability to attach files and things of that nature to the chronological order?
So that's a great question. Right now, as programmed, we're using a media picker, so it's picking from the user's built-in device library. So we can expand that to include files as well. We just need to make sure that we understand what the type of file is that we're limiting, right? The world opens up. You can upload a movie or a PDF or anything in between. I could see a very obvious use case of, let's say, the employee handbook. You downloaded it on your phone and you want to upload the employee handbook for future reference. You feel that maybe you won't have access to that employee handbook in the future. Uh, so we definitely want to include PDFs, but you would probably know best, and your team, about what those file types are. So things like TXT documents and PDFs, and we might want to restrict that size to, let's say, under a gigabyte or under 500 megabytes, just in case someone accidentally uploads, the video from their kid's birthday party or something like that, and it's a little bit too large for our Dropbox account.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's tremendous. That's a great start. We're definitely going to want to include video and audio recordings as well, although we'll have to limit the size because it's very common in this industry for people to video or audio record using their cell phone when their boss is doing something bad. And those are often some key pieces of evidence. So we'll need to include that as well. Um, Often we'll need to include voicemail files. Those are key because often people will say some of the damnedest things in voicemails. You can't believe that human beings say to each other. So there's a lot of file types we're going to have to support, but that's, I guess, why we have the long tail development. Excuse me. And we have a contract with your company to go out for years, I think, to keep paying for development, to keep building this out. So I think that makes sense. It's not all going to be delivered on day one. Um, I love what I see so far. I wish we could get this in user hands sooner. I know that from our perspective, we're around 50 grand deep already on this app. So we're excited. We're chomping at the bit to get it out there. But I also know that you guys are doing good work, and this is people's data, and you're safeguarding their data, and we have to provide a bug-free experience when you're controlling people's confidential data. So safety first. I respect that a great deal, and I appreciate that about you guys. Um, and listen, I know that you also have done a lot of hospital and a lot of law enforcement apps, so you can be trusted with that data in a way that smaller shops or some other shops we couldn't trust. And that's one of the reasons why we were so excited to work with you guys, with the new and with you. Um, okay, this is tremendous. So how many people do you think should I have using the app for that closed beta?
Somewhere between 2 and 4, including yourself. And
Okay.
we want to concentrate that feedback. Let's say there's something catastrophic, like I said, anything over 5 entries blows up the PDF and the team didn't test that yet or something. We wouldn't want to, okay, we got everyone ramped up to start testing this and we got to pull the beta, do some bug fixes and release a new version. And as we start to say, hey, this is useful, we're going to get some feedback naturally from those users, and we're going to try to very quickly iterate and update the app based on that feedback. So they're going to say, oh, you know what, I can't quite read the font size based on my specific phone hardware and my otherwise app settings. Okay, do we need to support different font sizes or magnifications for other users? Or someone's going to say, you know, I have this specific phone and I cannot get my voicemails to upload to the app. Great. What model of phone do you have? What operating system is it? Let's figure out a workaround here, or maybe just a guide or instructions when we detect phones by Samsung or whatever the manufacturer is that you have that we hadn't looked at. So there's a number of really interesting things that come out, but we want to get to right about this point where we feel confident that the app is going to function correctly, and we will be able to then discover, oh, this isn't as useful as we thought. We need to improve it in some specific way. So we're talking about things like, in my list is on the settings screen. We have a number of sort of placeholder ideas of what we could put on the settings screen, and I've narrowed that down to just 3 or 4 choices, right? We're gonna have the privacy and security policy. I want to be able to see all of the media that I've uploaded in the app. So again, for transparency, here's every single media item that you have uploaded in this app. You can see it. We're not hiding anything. We're not, secretly keeping anything. It's all stored on the app, and then it's only sent to our specific lawyer Dropbox account with permission and by request. It's not. And then if you deactivate one of these situations and it goes into that past situations divider, it will stop sending to Dropbox. That's it. We're done. We're disconnected. Maybe the case is over, whatever that situation is. If you re-enable it, it is not going to automatically send back to Dropbox again. You need to tell it. So we want the user to be in full control. We're going to put some preferences, and then of course we're going to put a little bit more robust information about contacting the lawyer and the procedure there, because we don't want your office to get inundated with calls and people asking for secret keys and codes to access the app. So we want to make sure we have that process down. And I think that's one thing we'll discover in this kind of limited beta test. And after that, we can actually put this on built-in tools like Apple's Test Flight, and we could release it to, let's say, 100 users and say, okay, we're going to do a limited beta. We're going to have 100 users use the application. And again, those are going to be the people who are probably watching this video right now, say, I'm interested in using this application. They're going to try it. They're going to say, hey, the screenshot feature didn't work for me on this phone, or I'm having trouble entering data that's too long or too large. Perfect. Great feedback. Again, we'll make that last minute tweak and we'll have, I think, a really solid app to release. And we're talking weeks in timeline here, not months.
Okay,
So
that's exciting.
I'm hoping to focus on these short iteration cycles where we're looking at, okay, test it for a week, feedback, team works on it. Next week we have those updates and those changes done, and a new version out, repeat that test process.
Got it. That's so exciting. I think the viewers of this channel will be so excited to be in that. Is it the limited beta?
Yeah, so there'll be so we're going to do, I guess we'll call it the limited beta, and that will be with some of the folks that are in your direct organization who you communicate with every day, that you would be able to give that direct feedback to. And then we'll do a little bit more of an open beta, right? Like some of the video games there. And maybe we'll ask for some people to submit their email. We can invite them through iOS and Android, and we'll get maybe 10 or 20 at a minimum users involved on both iOS and Android to give their feedback and use the application. If everything looks good and we fix any bugs that we have, we will release it in the appropriate app stores, and it will be available for everyone.
And it'll be free in the app stores, and you'll be able to use this to get the data to any firm that wants to use the app. Just to be clear, the app will be free to you, but it'll also be free to the firms who accept data through the app. The idea is to make it entirely such that you can go with any firm you want, so long as they accept data from the app. And it's really just going to be a Dropbox upload, right?
Correct. We spent a lot of time playing around with Dropbox and their API to figure out some of the ins and outs, and we will be able to. I think one of the best ways to do it would be to have a drop-down list of supported um, lawyers or law firms that will use the app, and then as that list grows, we will make sure we have an appropriate system to expand and allow you to choose your preferred lawyer, or in the future, another great feature could be simply to archive it for your own purposes. Maybe you want to be able to email this information to yourself in this nice formatted chronological order with all your thoughts collected in one place, printed out, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, you could upload it to your own Dropbox if you wanted.
Absolutely.
Tremendous. Anything else you want to tell the viewers?
No, just really excited to get this out into testing hands. This is usually the most exciting part of the app development, where you have something, you can see the vision, you can see it starting to come together, and now actually getting people to use it, you go, oh, I can't believe I put that button there. I can't believe I didn't think about this other screen or setting that people would prefer. And it's really exciting to get that feedback and to make a really useful project.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this app to get in user hands. I hope it helps people. How does it feel helping people? I mean, I guess you're always helping people. You've been helping people in healthcare and law enforcement for a long time, but this has got to be a feel good hit, right?
Oh yeah, no, I made several healthcare applications, and when you see that you're making an application that saves people's lives, it's really cool. And I don't know that I would go so far as to claim that this is a healthcare life-saving app, but it feels very adjacent here because I know that I've personally been in these HR situations or problems where with people at work, and I've gotten advice from you about documentation and keeping these records, and it has been incredibly useful in negotiating and navigating my way in and out of those situations.
Firsthand knowledge makes you a better developer. Tremendous. I love it. All right. If you don't have anything else to add, I think that's a great status update. I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I feel like I'm going to use it all week. These are my app fingers. Apparently I don't know, some kind of villain. Um, Boy, I'm excited. Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm excited to see the list of items that you've had for lunch.
I can't wait. Everybody, if this was helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below, share the channel so it can grow. You heard it here first. We are weeks away from you being able to the viewer, being able to get your hands on this app. We're very excited about that. Brett, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thanks, Vince.